That's right, I made a new account. Back in March of 2022, the game underwent a massive change to the free-to-play model, and whilst that was an amazing change for the better, it did kind of make all the progress on the old free-to-play series a bit redundant. So we're back with Season 2, and let's see what it's like to start a brand new account after the free-to-play changes. Also, if you're watching this video before October 31st, make sure you use the code FREEQUEST2022 in the LOTRO store to redeem the 16 remaining quest packs in the game and purchase Mordor, Minas Morgul, and War of Three Peaks for 99 LOTRO points apiece. But before we get into that, I wanted to go through a breakdown of how different the requirements are going to be for this account compared to the last one. Previously, we needed to purchase the Gold Cap and Premium Wallet, the 25 at the time available quest packs, and the 8 expansions, totaling up to a massive 45,425 LOTRO points. And that's not including the extra nice-to-haves like an account-wide riding trait, account-wide horse, shared storage, and the Virtue class and race trait slots. Now, however, all the content released up until the time of Helm's Deep is available to us for free, so we can get rid of 11 of those quest packs, but adding in the new missions Yonder Shire and Angle for 17 total, and the expansions lowered to 4 from Mordor up until Gundabad, and adding in Before the Shadow once it's released for LOTRO points in March of 2023. We also no longer have to purchase Bjorning, Warden, or Runekeeper, making the initial LOTRO point runs quicker, as we immediately have Bjorning to work with, lowering the total required LOTRO points to complete this account to 27,725, which is a 39% decrease in required LOTRO points. So, like our last time, we're going to be going for an Elf Hunter as our sort of main character, and the reason for that is quite simply I just understand the class a lot better than any other, and really I think a cool end goal for this would be to get this character maybe in like an end game raid, you know, all trait pointed up and everything, which therefore requires all the content to obtain all the deeds for that. And I don't know, yeah, just the idea of going into Gundabad and doing you know, Hidden Horde raid or whatever at the end of this is the final raid. I think that'd be a really cool end goal, and that would obviously also require us to get to level 140 or 150 if it takes me that long to do. Alright, so we are finally out of the intro, but before we start on any of the LOTRO point farming, we have to do a little bit of pre-preparation. And by pre-preparation, I mean a whole ton of farming. We also got a few Slayer accelerators to speed up the whole Slayer process, and doing so we got up to 40 LOTRO points before we even started. Next, it's time for us to actually do some LOTRO point farming. We're going to be using the Hunter for the first time around since we're already up to level 20, and to do what we normally do, questing south to north in Ered Luin, discovering the Elf ruins, kill some spiders, scout the Dower Hand encampments, kill pretty much everything else that we see, before checking out the dwarves and their settlements. One thing that definitely caused us some problems was gear. Luckily, doing the deeds allowed us to get some marks and upgrade our gear to level 20 from the skirmish camp, but gear is definitely something we're going to have to look to in the future. But I think I have an idea that might just work, but you're going to have to wait until another time to hear about that. After our gear upgrade, it's time to make use of the extra Slayer accelerator we got, and head to the Shire for an extra 85 LOTRO points. I really didn't want to do Slug Slayer after the accelerator finished. But we will eventually have to return back here and get all that done for the Virtue experience on our main character, and it is 15 LOTRO points that we're missing out on, so we should get around to it at some point. So, we have more than enough LOTRO points to afford the riding skill, but before we get that, we need a horse. And I know just where to find one. In the future, by heading to Minas Tirith Midsummer, we can take part in the wedding questline, and upon descending Minas Tirith in what is clearly the best way possible, we attend the ceremony which rewards us with the Gondor Steed as a permanent mount for this character. We do have to deal with a shouting Gandalf and Hobbit poems, but it's worth it in the end. After the ceremony comes my favourite part, the food. But more importantly, after dealing with a gate-crashing Grimbeorn, we get an extra reward of a class trait point to strengthen ourselves further. Right, so it's been 24 hours at least since we had the horse, which means our horse is now run out, but as I said, we have enough LOTRO points for the riding skill, and we now have our Gondor Steed. So, let's go get the riding skill for this character. Let's purchase that. 185 LOTRO points still available, and that's kind of us, you know, we've kind of started off this character. We're level 20, we have some gear, we have a horse. I'm pretty happy with where we're at. So since last time we did this whole account thing, we've had obviously a few more quest packs and stuff release, which means if we are to get stuff in order, there's a different order now. So last time I think we bought Evendim as one of our first expansions or quest packs, but technically the first one is now Yondershire, which is 20 to 23, which is pretty much exactly where we are at the moment. And I definitely want to get that because the gear that you can get from that is really good. I've used it from level 20-ish to about level 40 without any issues whatsoever. However, it costs near enough 1,000 LOTRO points. So, do we want to do it? I want to, but I don't know if it's the best choice to start with. We do, on the other hand, have 5 missions for 300, or we could also get the Further Adventures of Bilbo for 500, and that starts us getting some extra money with shards like we did last time. Either way, we're going to have to go obtain some more LOTRO points, so let's work out which one we want during that time. So now that we've got the horse, I want to go around and just gather a couple more deeds, get a few more LOTRO points and a few more virtue experience. We are maxed out on our 4 that we have right now, but loyalty will be our 5th, and hopefully we can get that to 10 as well. And then as soon as we get to 23, we have all of them at a relatively high level, which is a nice starting point for sure. And then we have History of the Dunedain, which is a very nice 10 LOTRO points. We can also get the Barrow Downs, which is an extra 5 LOTRO points as well. Just getting a few more here and there. The Barrow Downs is complete, and although I'm very, very, very close to the Old Forest, I really don't want to do the flowers, so we're going to hold off on that one, at least for the minute. Okay, we have our final inscription, another 500 rep, which is always nice, some virtue experience, and obviously the LOTRO points as well. And I think what we might do the questing for this area. It's all pretty packed close together. We can get a few LOTRO points, and maybe I'll get a Slayer Accelerator as well, and we can do like Brigand, Spider, and Harvest Flies, because those should be really, really, really easy to do. I just want to, this isn't going to be like last time, where we're going to be trying to be the most efficient possible and, time to LOTRO points. I think it's more about having a concrete main character while also obtaining what we need. Because this time, we have just a lot of content that we can already progress through. We could get up to level 80 or so without even having to worry about LOTRO point farming. But, we want to make our character the best we can as we progress. But I think that's going to be it for now. I think we've done really well at solidifying these characters at a good starting point. We do have a couple LOTRO points still to pick up. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go Yondershire because, as I said, I'm not going to be sort of trying to be super efficient. I can go and get some more Slayer Accelerators. As I said, do some Bree questing Slayer, do a couple more on another Bjorning. And then, although it is near enough 1,000 LOTRO points, it opens up so many opportunities for us. But I'll go more in-depth in why, hopefully in the next one, because, well, I'm going to try and get that in time for the next episode, which will hopefully not be, months and months from now. Oh, and one last thing. Somewhere hidden in this video is a code that you can put in the LOTRO store and will give you a bunch of goodies. So in total, it gives you Mordor, Minas Morgul, Gundabad, the riding skill, the Steed of Bree, a small crafting carryall, 5 200% XP boosts, so that's triple XP, a skill and Slayer deed boost, 5,000 enhanced reputation supply, and a double crafting experience boost. So if you go back and find that code and put it in the LOTRO store and are the first one to do so, you can get all those goodies. Also, on top of that, I will be streaming this entire week. I will probably be streaming as this video goes up, and I will also be giving away a few more of those codes as well throughout the week. So if you don't get the one from this video, then you can always get the ones from the stream if you're lucky.